Man, I appreciate you doing this for me, man.
Man, I'm honored.
Yes, sir.
I'm honored to be called, spoken to, and all that, man.
We got none other than the Bishop Jerome Chism in the house with us today.
Man,
we're gonna talk about a whole lot of stuff, man.
Let's
we was talking off air, kind of about what this podcast is about, man. Like, you know, the reason why people do things. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I didn't want to get to a long introduction. I had a long introduction, by the way, but I kind of got an idea that this won't be the last episode. So,
most definitely. Oh no,
I'm pretty sure we're gonna do this again. So we'll get into some of that later on. But anyway, I want to first off, I want people to know, who is Jerome Chism. You know, like, how did you get started in this?
Well, Jerome Chism is a recording artist, born and bred right here in Memphis, Tennessee. The son of William and Norma Chism, 1985, baby, in April 6th.
Your father a preacher?
No, but my grandfather is.
Okay.
My grandfather, and I have two uncles and some cousins that's in ministry, so I'm not a stranger.
Okay, yeah.
You know, to the Lord, or should I say the know-how.
And your music, I can say.
Yeah, the know-how of Sunday morning.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so you from Memphis, born and raised?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
Okay, then, so tell me, what is it like growing up in Memphis?
Man, growing up in Memphis is should I say, it's an experience like no other. For a lot of different reasons. For myself, I have many generations ahead of me, that I already had, should I say, trailblazed here in Memphis, Tennessee, whether it was in music or business or things of that nature. Memphis has such an embedded culture in food, in music and fashion and style. So to say you from Memphis and born and raised here, you kind of know about certain things a little bit better than others.
True.
For one, I would say music. I would say good food. I would say good fashion with clothing.
True.
And things as far as in the automotive industry as well, as far as like you know, rims and custom paint jobs and things of that nature. If you look back at history, you know, and things of that nature, we've had some of the most iconic artists to come from the 901.
For sure.
Like Elvis Presley and Isaac Hayes. These guys are some of the innovators when you come to a custom car building with the pink Cadillac. And we already know who the pink Cadillac is associated with, Elvis himself. And the old Cadillac of Isaac Hayes himself is at the Stax Museum, no more than 10 minutes away from here. It's one of the first to have a telephone, TV screens, and things of that nature. So just coming from Memphis, Tennessee, you kind of learn different things as far as the culture of pop culture, you know, fashion, what the people are really into at the time.
Right. You kind of touched on it. My second question was about the importance of Memphis. I think even I was watching this episode of Salute the Samples, a show by Greg Nice, LL Cool J. And dang, I forgot the DJ, man. I love this guy, man. I'm sorry, man, because I know y'all gonna watch this, but I'm sorry. It's gonna come to me. But anyway, it's called Salute the Sample, and they salute samples of where the songs come from.
Salute the Sample.
A lot of guys, especially these younger guys, they listen to music and they don't know where it comes from.
Most definitely.
So and they had a song, Tramp, by Salt and Pepper. Come to find out, it was used actually twice before then. But the song Tramp had musicians, the second people that
Carlos Thomas and Otis Redding, right? Yeah, I'm familiar.
And so you know your stuff. And so it's just, but I noticed how Greg Nice, as soon as he heard their version, he was like, that's funky. And he was like, man, there's no other funk. You can tell that's from Memphis right there. That's that Memphis funk right there. And it kind of goes into what you were saying about what Memphis musicians have that no other musicians across the world have. What do you think it is?
It's a, you know what? It's a, should I say, an embedded type of soul that's like no other. Mississippi is the only place that I can think of that may have it, and that's because Memphis is birthed out of Mississippi in many ways. it's a self-centeredness as well, because you have in music sometimes you have to block out what's going on around you to find their own creativity. Right. You know, because in music, and you know this as well, people look for what's hot at the time.
Right.
Or say, man, this is working.
Right.
Or so-and-so is doing this.
Right.
And it's number one.
Right.
But I think Memphis music has always been a huddle up type of thing. It's like stick to what we do. And the rest of the world has followed. And
you know what?
It stood the test of time.
True. And there's some of you said that Memphis music is, you have to kind of find within. If you look in history, okay, I mean, you know, Dr. King got assassinated here.
He did.
So it's a type of soul. Soul is all from feeling, you know.
Yes.
And so Memphis does have a history, and I think some of that history around here has embedded themselves into the music.
Of course.
And you can hear that Memphis struggle. You know, every parts of the world has their own struggle.
Of course.
But Memphis has a certain struggle, and it comes out in the music. And so when you said that, it kind of resonated with me, like, you know, all of the stuff that's went on. I mean, even with, you know, with Tyree Nichols, you know, and even though that was recent, but if you go back to a lot of the struggle that was here in Memphis, it comes out in the music.
Of course it does. As it should as well.
As it should.
Yeah,
Let's get into the importance of B.B. King's.
Gotcha.
And just the importance of what that means, not only to the city, but to the world. What do you think about that?
For me, B.B. King's is a staple of not only Memphis music, but a stability of a institution of music education as well. Going back to what you just said, Memphis has a background in so many different things. As many of our artists have touched that stage, including the King of Blues himself. I mean, it's his club. So, of course, he visits there frequently, performed there frequently. And to be one of the lead vocalists of the All-Star Band and for the club and the city and the street of Beale Street itself, it's truly an honor. You know, it's something I don't take lightly at all. In some cases, and should I say many cases, I'm reminded of what it is and how precious it is myself. Because I can go out of town and do different things with different bands, and people can say, man, you know, I recognized you from B.B. King's when I was once in Memphis, or I saw you on the internet for a certain thing. So it's a long line of legacy that I try to keep high, you know. Man, I could go on and on about it, man. You can go from Ruby Wilson, from Jimmy King to, Little Milton, guys of that nature, man, perform there, and to know that these are the same people that walked those steps, you know, stood on that mantle and did their thing. Preston Shannon of the world. Yeah. You know, so it's an awesome thing, man.
Yeah, and with that being said, there's a lot of the sound messing up my sound, but we're gonna keep going, y'all.
No, it's all good.
Technical difficulties, but we're gonna keep this rolling because this is good.
Oh yeah.
B.B. King's. Thank you. I would say B.B. King is one of the things that's keeping a positive light on Memphis.
I agree.
Because you can bet for sure a lot of tourists come here.
I agree.
And one of the first places that they want to come to is Beale Street and B.B. King's.
I agree.
And we don't realize how many people, from all over the world, you know what I mean, that's here, that would never have come to Memphis had not been for Beale Street. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. For me, not only because I'm employed there, and we have a great partnership with B.B. King. Even if I wasn't one of their premier artists, I would agree with you and say the same thing. Yeah, B.B. King's is top tier.
Yeah,
not only on Beale Street, but in Memphis as a whole.
The world.
Should I say the lineup with the musicians and the musical family that's up on the umbrella are all international artists and international musicians in their own right.
True.
B.B. King's is, should I say, that first chair.
Yeah.
Or kind of like the captain of the team.
Yeah.
Pretty much what that club does dictates what a lot of people kind of choose to follow as well.
True.
And this is no shade or shot to anybody else. even if you're not in the blues or soul or R&B music, even our rap community, the hip hop community, when they choose to do a video, or if they choose to do a Welcome to Memphis or anything, that BB King Monarch
is there.
That Bill Street visual of the street is there.
You're right.
You can't get away from it.
You can't get away from that.
You know what I mean? It's you can't get away from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about traveling overseas. What was that experience like? And then I want to make this a two-part question because if I'm not mistaken, did Boo Mitchell go over there with y'all?
On one of my runs, yes.
And Eric Gales.
Yeah, shouts out to Boo Mitchell and the Royal family. Royal Studios family. Yeah, man.
Eric Gales, did he go?
Yeah, we met him in London.
Okay.
Yeah, he met us in London for a.
So talk about, first of all, the experience of being able to take this experience all over the world, and just in that particular area of the world in particular. What was the experience like? And then what's it like having a relationship and working with Boo Mitchell and the legend Eric Gales?
Okay, well, first let me say it again. Shouts out to Boo Mitchell and the whole Mitchell family, my Royal Studios, High Rhythm Section family. Man, they are the most iconic, in my eyes, the most iconic musical institution in Memphis. The studio in itself is, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the oldest still operated studios in America, in the whole entire country, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. So there's good history I think any of us should be proud of. Yeah. Even if you're a fan of him or his father's work, the late great Willie Mitchell. They have been the foundation of soul music, of hits like Let's Stay Together with Al Green, Seal Johnson, Otis Clay, and Peoples. I mean, O.V. Wright. The list goes on and on. Of all of the soul records that they've been a part of. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's 27 or 28 gold records that's been produced off their street from their studio. So to be one of the artists that's been selected to be with them to implement the soul of Al Green, of Seal Johnson, of O.V. Wright, of Otis Clay, I'm truly honored. We've been able to tour New Zealand. This year we had a 2-week run in New Zealand. We was able to do the Red Rooster Festival in London. This year as well. We also went to Australia for the Broad Beach Blues Festival as well. So man, we've been on the run, man, trying to represent this Memphis thing. Man, we can do.
And I'm so proud because I'm not from Memphis, but when I moved to Memphis, there were a couple of names that came up. As we mentioned, Larry Springfield. Will Graves. Which I think we got to give him his flowers.
Man, have to. Will Graves and Larry Springfield, one of my true brothers and mentors in the game.
For sure. I heard those two names, and then I heard your name, Jerome Chism.
Man, bless you.
If I'm not mistaken, there was I might be wrong, but One Accord. Was that a group you with?
Yes.
I remember y'all playing at the old Hard Rock.
Right up the street.
Right up street.
Every Monday night. One of my favorite events of all time in this. Shouts out to Curtis Gibbons, man. He was the brainchild behind that. And Carlos Strong and Jonathan Rayborn, Michael Mosby, Brandon Rayborn, guys like the Marcus Malone as well, man. So
For sure. That's another one, Marcus Malone. We're gonna have to get him on the show.
Man, most definitely. One of my favorites.
So let me ask you, I got a few more questions in here. I'm gonna let you go.
We kicking it. You my brother. Let's do it.
What does the Memphis? What's Memphis? What's missing from the Memphis music scene right now? From what I consider a vet in this game.
Wow, man, that's a very, very good question. Very broad question. Memphis music across the board is missing camaraderie. We're missing the togetherness.
Hold on. Let this simmer for a second.
We're missing the camaraderie and the unity and the togetherness that I think most cities, most countries, most institutions have that makes them undefeated wherever they go.
You said something right there.
I don't care who it is. what tour you're on, all the way down to the band, the background singer, the sound man, the light man. Somebody's going to be from Memphis, Tennessee.
True.
That's a part of their unit.
True.
And the unit that's coming on behind them or before them, they're going to have somebody, whether it's in the band, background, production, artists, or lighting, that's from Memphis.
Yeah.
But I could guarantee you that those two Memphians haven't connected, haven't got a chance to sit down with each other and make something great for the city while they're away or while they're back at home.
Right.
And also, too, Memphis radio, Memphis radio hosts and personalities. Let's have a bridge of camaraderie and unity. You and I travel tremendously. We just talked about our me touring it. And one thing that's for certain, when an artist is making some noise in their own city, the TV and the radio get behind it instantly.
You said something.
It should be no reason I should listen to V101, K97, and not hear at least 5 to 7 Memphis artists rapping, singing, jazz, or whatever the genre is. More than 30 minutes riding in the car ride, I should hear at least 2 to 3 to 4 Memphis artists.
You preach.
Because it's like that in every other city. Go to St. Louis, go to Chicago, go to Florida, go to Miami.
Go to Atlanta.
They're playing their artists.
True.
And let's not wait till an out-of-towner comes and pushes a Josh McCain, pushes a Jerome Chism, pushes the name we just mentioned to say, oh yeah, let's push that. Because the rest of the world is eating it up. Man. The rest of the world is eating it up.
On all levels. They eat
so I would say that's what's mostly needed because other people feel it too. I've traveled tremendously and going back to what I told you, in every crew or in every group or whatever while you're on the road, they'll say, well, do you know so-and-so? They're from Memphis as well. And you be like, no, I never met them.
Yeah.
And you be like, oh my God, he's from Memphis too.
Yeah.
Proud, and all of us are proud Memphis.
Yeah.
That's why they so interested in asking, do you know so-and-so? Because he's from Memphis too.
Exactly.
Because all of us were that M-Town really proud.
Exactly.
But once people from outside find out that we really don't talk or we really never work together, it makes them scratch their head. And I'm gonna move on, but I remember a time I watched it was an award show. It could have been a BET Awards. I think Sierra was up for Best Artist or Best R&B Record. And it was held in Atlanta. Well, it could have been held in North. At least it felt like it was held in Atlanta. Every artist at the time that was from Atlanta, they was asked, who do you think should win? They said, Sierra, Atlanta all day. Memphis needs to be the same way.
You said it, man.
We should be the same way.
I see why they call you the bishop.
It's true.
Because you be preaching.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Matter of fact, you're doing something now that you're trailblazing the road now that we'll get into it.
Yeah, hey, man, I appreciate that, man. I accept that.
We'll get into it. This is gonna be off camera. We're gonna talk about it. Yeah, it's true.
But okay, let me get you out of here on this. First of all, what is it like being a full-time musician? You know, I run across a lot of people, and I'm a full-time musician as well. I've been a full-time musician since 2012. This makes 12 years. June made 12 years that I've been a full-time musician, just completely by myself. And one of those things that motivated me to do that was when I moved to Memphis, and I saw how many musicians, first of all, it's a ton of them here.
Right.
It's only a handful of them that do it full time.
Yeah.
I just so happened to run into the circle that were doing it full time, which was my aspiration the whole time. And I noticed they move different and their dedication is different.
Sure.
Which we didn't get into, but you kind of got into it. We talked a little about before camera about that. You got to be consistent.
Of course.
And that requires some dedication, which a lot of people aren't willing to do.
Yeah.
A lot of people couldn't play Beale Street.
Of course not.
Because it's consistent. And it requires you to open your box a little bit, which a lot of people don't want to do. But let's talk about being a full-time musician. Just briefly, what do you... the struggles, the advantages, the the advice you would give to somebody that was thinking about being a full-time musician, what would you say to that?
Well, I would say this, man. It's a very interesting and lonely walk. But if you put behind the hard work, the love, the passion, and the integrity and the professionalism that needs to come along with the game, you'll be very successful. And doing music professionally throughout the years, it can be up, it can be down, just like any other profession. And going back to what I said, it's a lonely thing. Not many are blessed with the love and the passion and the talent for music. It's almost like the NFL or the NBA.
You're right. Only the strong survive, Doc.
A lot of people love basketball.
Yeah.
A lot of people love football. They love to watch it. They even know the know-hows of the X's and O's.
Right.
But can you get out there and do it?
Yeah, that's another story.
That's a whole nother beast. So to be the one that can really chime in and shut down, to learn music, teach music, and be absorbed by it, it's a lonely thing, because most of the time, 9 times out of 10, the people around you that you're supporting with the music that you love so much may not understand it.
They won't
The people that you're looking for support or that push may not understand it, because being a musician is one of the, should I say, one of the top entrepreneur jobs that a person could seek and do and have.
Interesting. 2 more questions. I need your top 3 musical influences on you.
My top 3 music influences. My top number 1, never sung a note, didn't know how to play a piano at all, but it'd be my grandfather, the late great Reverend Ray Chism.
Okay.
Got me and my brother started in voice lessons and piano lessons to start playing at his church, because he needed some musicians. Who knew that the seeds that he planted in us would carry over to me doing this till now. And I'm a father of 3, a married man, so I take care of a whole household and many others with my entertainment company as well. And I look at that, all of that is birthed out of my grandfather, of not only needing someone to help him out, but just seeing some talent in his grandchildren as well. Then outside of that, man, I would say Al Green. Al Green, being born and raised from Memphis, Tennessee, and going back to what I just said, being an extension of soul legacy of Royal Studios, he's always been an influence on my life as far as being a vocalist, always being sharp on stage, whether it was his vest, necklaces, his whole style and persona. Guys like Al Green, man, Isaac Hayes, and these are guys I know and I've got a chance to meet. Because even when Isaac Hayes Club was open right there at the Peabody Place, I performed there as well every Monday night with New Genesis.
Wow.
Brandon Brown, Stanley Randolph, Kyle Bolden, William Wesson, Kenneth Townsend, Kenneth Whalen, those guys. We got a chance to be up on the Isaac Hayes tutelage and mentorship. So, man, so I can truly say some of my mentors that I've always looked up to, I got a chance to rub shoulders with them as well. And shouts out to the king of Beale Street, the real king of Beale Street, Preston Shannon. He's no longer with us.
For sure.
But he was also a musical influence. He's the reason why I've carried the flag of being the lead vocalist of B.B. King's right now. So, yeah, man, my grandfather, Al Green, Preston Shannon, Sam Cooke, of course. My father, my grandfather were great fans of his. So even when they knew I was a little whippersnapper trying to sing, they put on a lot of Soul Sterling records, Sam Cooke records, and things of that nature, man. So, and he's not far from Memphis, born and raised out of Clarksdale, Mississippi. So, all of us are neighbors,
Yes, shout out to Preston Shannon, because when I first moved to Memphis, they renamed the club, the Blue Note, at the end of Beale Street after him. That was one of the clubs that we played at. And I didn't know of him at the time. But of course, I started doing my research and I found out how big of an influence he was in this area. And I'm like, just on the world, in the world for that matter.
It's true.
You know, I mean, and just to piggyback off what you said as far as Memphis music, and we'll get into this another episode because we can go on.
Oh man, this is good. This is good.
Albert King to you know, I mean, we can go on and on, man. It's just so many who put their imprint on music, and people have carried it across the world.
Sure.
But okay, we've asked all the questions. We're gonna get down to the main question. We kind of hit on it before we started this episode, and that is why you do what you do. The name of this show is What's Your Reason? Because I feel the reason behind you doing something is going to influence whether you put your all into it. Right. If you're doing it for the money, if you're doing it just to be seen, you're probably only going to go so far. And we see those all the time. It's true. But to have longevity and consistency, you have to have some type of dedication. So I'm asking you why you do this.
Got a lot of reasons, but I can name you plenty. I do it because I'm truly embedded in music. It is truly my foundation of everything else that I enjoy. It is my natural habitat. Just like if you take a fish out of water, he won't last long. You clip a bird's wings, he won't last long.
He won't last long, Doc.
Take music away from me, I won't last long. So it's just one of those things, man.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, I'm embedded in it. Then once you grow into the professional side of it, past just enjoying it and loving it, you see how it takes care of your family. It takes care of your day-to-day and your other passions and other hobbies that you have as well. Because even though we do this full-time, we're other things. Going back to what I said, man, I'm a brother, I'm a son, I'm a father. Music has allowed me to get into travel. It has allowed me to get into real estate and other passions that I love as well. But music is something that I can always come back to that was solely for me, that made me expand to be a better person, a better husband, a better father for everything else around me, man. So it's just something that I've always needed and always have been a part of. So it's like my fingers to my hand. They go together. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Well, man, I truly appreciate this, man. This is actually officially my first full episode.
Wow, so I'm one of the first.
You are the first.
Oh, brother.
I've had. Come on. For sure. And
that's what's up, man.
If I was gonna do with anybody, the first episode, full episode, it would be you. Because,
Thank you, brother.
man, you're doing it. You're inspiring a lot of people.
Thank you, brother.
And you never know who's watching, so keep doing what you're doing. I want to give a shout out to Mike Burton. Actually, my very first attempt at an episode was with Mike Burton. Mike Burton, he's got an album just came out, but Mike Burton, for those of you who don't know, he's a saxophone player, and he's played for everybody from Usher to Jill Scott to Patti LaBelle. He was on Super Bowl with Usher. So if you're on tour with Usher right now and you see the horn section, he's actually playing with a guy from Memphis, Melvin. Melvin Smith. I can't remember his last name, but Melvin plays the trumpet.
I was about to say clarinet.
And that goes back to what you're saying. If you talk to somebody, there's going to be somebody in that crew that's from Memphis.
It's like that.
You know what I'm saying? He was my first, and then my second was Matt Campy. Matt Campy is from Philadelphia. He's played with the Roots. He actually played with Jill Scott. He's playing some shows with Patti LaBelle right now. Awesome. So shouts out to those guys. I'm going to reach back out to you. We had to cut our episode short because of the constraints that we were in. But I appreciate you, man, for doing this with me.
Thank you, bro.
I'll see y'all next time. This is Joshua McCain with What's Your Reason? Make sure what you're doing is because you're doing the right thing. And I'll see y'all on the next go around. Peace.
Enjoy the brother. God bless you.
Man. Yes, sir. Man.